Good morning, everyone. My name is Nick. I am a reading development consultant with Reading Plus. Sorry that I never got a chance to catch up with you all yesterday. We all have technical issues, so Jennifer's asked if I could sort of pop a basic training video through to you all so you can take a look at what the program will look like from a student's perspective and then also from an educator's perspective as well. Hopefully you've all sort of logged in relation to the Reading Plus platform. If you haven't, please do get in touch because I will sort of need to reset the password links to you all. If anyone does actually need to give me a call, they want to have a chat about any part of Reading Plus, my contact number is 07485 908 172, or you can pop me an email at nick@readingsolutionuk.com. So I'm going to share my screen, give you an idea as to what the program will look like. So from a student's perspective, a little bit of context. The students will have already completed their baseline assessment. So within the baseline assessment, they will have been presented with texts to read. They will have been presented with motivation and engagement questions, vocabulary questions, and comprehension questions. That baseline assessment has now all been done for a large majority of the students. That will then come out with the proficiency level for the student, and they will instantly be able to start working on Reading Plus. So we recommend usage to be 90 minutes per week, to break those down into sort of 3 30-minute sessions. It could be broken down into 50-minute sessions. However, obviously, it's entirely up to yourselves sort of how that sort of needs to be timetabled in. Once the students have done the baseline assessment, so the next time they actually log in, they'll be presented with a screen that looks very similar to what you're seeing now. They'll be able to decorate their own dashboard, select a background color, select a wallpaper, and select an avatar as well. As they start to move through the program, different avatars will start to be released for them. It certainly isn't where we want them to spend all of that time, however. There will be a lessons section where the reading lessons will be set, vocabulary lessons will be set, and some visual skills for a large majority of those students. So the system will set 5 reading lessons per week and 1 vocabulary lesson for them. It doesn't necessarily mean that they can't do more. It just means that this is the bare minimum that's been set to allow students to make some progress. There will be a skills section for the students, so they'll be able to keep an eye on all of the skills activities, such as, comparative reading, close reading, and whatnot. And it'll just show, the skills that they've started to achieve, but also a bit of a gap, so a skills gap analysis. There is a messaging section. You'll be happy to know that students can't message each other. The students will receive messages from ourselves at Reading Plus, but as a teacher, you will be able to send messages to the students. But like I say, they won't be able to sort of message each other. There is a family section as well, just in case this was ever going to be used as homework or a homework project. Just means that, mum and dad can sort of monitor some of that effort and progress, ask any questions about what Reading Plus is. They won't necessarily have a login, but I'll show you guys sort of where to find some of the information with regards to parent and student letters. So within the lessons section, students will be able to click into this and it'll show them their online library. Now, each student will most probably be working at a different level, depending on what the proficiency has came out for their baseline assessment. So yes, there will be students who are reading at or above. There will be students who are reading, 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 4 year, 5 year, lower than what they should be. Our sort of readability levels go as low as early year 2, and it runs right the way through to further education in terms of text complexity. However, students will all have access to the same topics and genres. They'll have access to non-fiction, fiction, sports, science, history, geography, technology. As within each academic year, students will be able to access new texts. So there are new texts continually being completed for Reading Plus each academic year. Students will be able to navigate through their online library just by using the left and right arrows. So very, very basic in terms of sort of the navigation process on there. In terms of the progress element at the bottom here, these week's assignments will have a little tick in each of these particular boxes, so students will be able to track their own progress. And the 80% with a little chain in the middle, just where my mouse is kind of hovering through there. That particular part is very important to what Reading Plus is about. So these 80% with the chain in the middle refer to as a combo, and combos are what actually move the students through the program. So the main aim is for students to read 2 texts back to back, complete the 10 comprehension questions at the end of each text, and students will be able to create their first combo as long as they get 80% or higher. Now, students will be able to create gold combos, bronze combos, silver combos, but we want to see a level of consistency. So we don't necessarily move the students up after that one particular combo. What they will need to do is they'll need to create between 4 and 10 combos, depending on what level they are actually at on the program. They'll be able to power up, use their best streak, their winning streak, and so on and so forth. So if students wanted to click into this particular text and read about the Call of the Wild, if they weren't interested in it, they could click back, but if they do click go on, they are required to read from start to finish. Again, we want to see that level of consistency. So at each and every point within Reading Plus, they will either be asked to click go on, or they'll be asked to click a spacebar or part of the screen, depending on if they are using a laptop or a tablet. So they'll click go on, click the spacebar, and this is where students will be reintroduced to the guided window. What the guided window is essentially doing is it's very similar to what students have probably done, use their finger to track from left to right, whereas the guided window is going to be doing that for them. Now, the guided window can be set as low as 45 words per minute. It can go upwards of 500. However, the system will do this for you. So as students are progressing through the program, the system will subtly ask them if they want to increase their words per minute. So it's not, dramatically going to go from 45 words to 500, after one text. It will subtly do this for them. And this is what your guided window will normally look like. So this is running at around about 70 words per minute. So quite slow for some, but just the right pace for others. And helping them be sort of less erratic in terms of the eye movements, not sort of transfixing on certain words or certain sentences. Now, they can pause and resume this at any particular point. And if they do resume, it'll take them back to exactly the same stage. These little dots at the bottom refer to the pages within that particular text, and normally within the last 2 texts, the last 2 pages of the text, or in some cases 3, that guided window scaffold will be taken away from the student and they'll have the ability to read independently. It will still be grayed out slightly, but what we essentially want to do is to allow students to read more confidently, to then be able to pick up another book, further down the line, to act upon it and have that sort of fluent rate in terms of their reading ability. Like I say, at the end of each text, students will have 10 questions to go through that all relate to the text that they have just read. Now, within those 10 questions, they will have the ability to click a reread section 5 times. We very much recommend that students do use the reread section as and when they need to. What the reread section will do is it'll take them back to the particular extract of that text. They will have the ability to read independently, and hopefully they'll be able to sort of decipher the answer from that. It's certainly not cheating, because we recognise that students won't always retain every single bit of information. So we do allow them to have that reread section. And by all means, please do pass on any sorts of questions that you do have in relation to the guided window, the comprehension questions, so on and so forth. With regards to the vocabulary side of things, students will be able to be introduced to more academic words as they start to progress through the program. So students will click the start button, and they'll need to press the flash button to see the word. It does flash quite quickly, but a little bit of a hint, if you do click it a few times, it will actually stay on the system there for you. Now, again, in terms of vocabulary, students will be starting to get introduced into more academic words. It's asking them to sort of, look at that particular meaning, clearly know that it isn't irritation of the skin, but I'll show you exactly what the system will do. So we've got that incorrect, but what we want to do is we want to master that particular word. So it's allowing me to go on and explain a little bit more about that particular word, because at some point that word's going to be regurgitated back into the system to then allow me to master that word. So I can't necessarily hide from it. Again, it's asking me to click 2 sentences that use the word correctly. I clearly know that it is not about bacon or scrambled eggs, but I'll give you a little idea as to how the system is going to show me this now. So I've clearly got it incorrect. It will allow me to go on and start introducing me into different parts of that word family as well. So it's not just saying I've got it incorrect, go back to the beginning. It's allowing me to learn and develop a little bit more about that particular word. So if anyone does have any questions with regards to the vocabulary side of things, please pop these through to me. As students will start moving through the program, they'll be able to keep a track of their own guided window rate, their words rate, their reading profile. It'll tell them where their next goal is meant to be. It'll tell them their scores in relation to comprehension as well. And they'll be able to start reading and building their own reading profile. So they'll be able to drag some of these stories into their reading profile. And then they'll be able to see the different topics and genres that they've actually been reading about as well. So at every single point, students will be directed as to what they need to do next. It gives them a full idea and a full indication of what they've sort of achieved, and they'll know what their next goal is going to be. Reading Plus certainly isn't there to replace any of those teaching methods that you already do. It is very much there to work as a tool alongside you. So that is the students aspect of Reading Plus. The educators aspect of Reading Plus will look exactly like this. So this is your account all set up there for you. You have your classes on there. So there is 11 classes. You have 263 students. From a manage section on the left-hand side, this is where I will normally monitor to see which staff have actually logged in. So I can see that there are staff who have already logged in, which is absolutely brilliant. Like I say, for those staff who haven't and will need access to the program, can you please let me know so I can reset your password link, because it only lasts for 2 hours. I'll get that reset and we can pop that back through to you. From a classes perspective, each of you will probably be allocated to a different class. So I'll just give you an idea as to where to access this. So if it was 7A EN1, you'd click into that particular class, and this would give you your overview of all of the students within there. So you will be able to, in the top right-hand corner, take a look at the assessment details. So this was the baseline assessment for that particular class that completed. As you can see, there is a quad graph for you. I have passed all of this through to Jennifer in relation to the benchmark and the site screening report as well. Those students in your top right-hand corner are probably your more able readers. So higher comprehension, vocab, higher fluency. These students in your bottom right-hand corner, higher comprehension, vocab, lower fluency. So if we put our test hat on, those students who have a very good understanding, but haven't simply been able to complete the paper on time. Now, your lower comprehension, vocab, lower fluency, this is where Reading Plus will really start to develop those students, and lower comprehension, vocab, and higher fluency. So very, very able readers in terms of fluency, just simply do not know what they've read about. You will sometimes see a red diamond. That normally indicates that a student is not ready for Reading Plus. It's not always the case. They will, however, be reading at the lowest level in terms of readability. You'll be able to hover over each of these as well, see each of the particular students. But if you do scroll down, it'll give you their rates in terms of words per minute, what they are currently reading at, comprehension scores, assessment times, so on and so forth. But you'll be able to always take a look at a benchmark report. It gives you that sort of breakdown as to students who are reading at or above, and those students who are reading 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 4 year, 5 year lower, then sort of age related as well. Every single report within Reading Plus is sort of printable and downloadable. You can take a look at the right-hand corner there. You can view it as a PDF, or you can export that data into CSV as well. So that was the assessment element. Now, the alert section, very, very important to what you guys will be doing as well. If students move up a level, they will be presented with an award. You as a teacher will get an indication as to what that award is. You'll be able to print that certificate and celebrate those successes. There will be a messaging section, so you'll be able to see all of the messages from teacher to student. And the whole section, a very integral part of what Reading Plus is. If students are struggling with Reading Plus, they will be put into a thing called support mode, normally for about 3 or 4 lessons, where the system will sort of add in some more guided scaffold. If students are still struggling, certainly within support mode, they're struggling with the comprehension element and the fluency element, students will be put on hold. So as a teacher, you will have the responsibility to release that student from hold. And normally there'll be a big green button just in the corner here to release that student from hold after you've had that sort of one-to-one interaction with the student. Now, there will be a sort of a reason as to why the student's been put on hold. Sometimes we see that students have just been clicking a space bar or clicking the screen far too many times, trying to race to the very end. Again, the system will recognize that, put the student in the hold as well. If anyone does have any questions about the hold mechanism, please do get in touch. By all means, we can have a little chat about that as well. I will obviously throughout the pilot keep an eye on sort of that hold section as well and let you all know if there's been students sort of put on hold, if there's any awards due and things like that as well. It's all part of the pilot sort of process. Throughout the pilot, we'll be having obviously meetings with Jennifer, where we'll go over sort of report side of things, and we'll go through progress. But you as teachers will be able to take a look at all of the assignments, the progress, leaderboard, things like that as well. Assignment-wise, you will be able to view all of the assignments that students have actually completed. So these little grey boxes will then start to turn green, amber, or red as they start to progress through the programme. You'll see their total instructional time alongside that. There is a real-time activity board on here as well. So you'll be able to view the last student login. You have your RAG rate at the top here, and you'll be able to see those students who are completing assignments as well. You'll see those who are sort of in progress, what their sort of average comprehension scores were as well. Best bit of advice I can give you is log in, take a tour around the platform as well. There's nothing you can break, so please do take a look at it. Progress-wise, you will be able to view all of the students who are active, all of the students who are enrolled. You'll be able to view all of the progress to date in terms of average reading gains, words per minute in terms of fluency as well. But you will also be able to take a look at the projected growth element. You will see those who are making expected growth. Normally, we find students who aren't making expected growth is down to insufficient use. So please do monitor that in terms of the usage side of things. From a leaderboard perspective, it's always good to have a little bit of healthy competition within the class. It's entirely up to yourself how you would like to use this, but you can filter a lot of these across the top. Normally, we give this as a bit of a good snapshot as to sort of the progress that's been made from students. So you'll be able to see all of the reading lessons that students have completed, total words, average comprehension, combos, winning streaks, and so on and so forth. But it's not always the students that you will probably think that are going to be top of the leaderboard. There will be students who are probably your less able readers, who will naturally read more words in terms of reading lessons as well. But there will be students who will, hugely engage with the program, and that's where you're going to see your level gains and your rate gains in your top here. If you wanted to look at an individual profile of each student, you can click into the student there, and it will give you a breakdown of all of the lessons that they've completed, their silent reading fluency progress, their comprehension and vocabulary progress. Now, they will start to develop skills, as I said kind of earlier on, in things like close reading, main ideas and themes and whatnot. But you will be able to take a look at the skills analysis as well. So you will have a summary here. So performance at 80% or higher, or performance below 70%. Now, there are teaching tools as well. Some of these are pre-scripted, so it may help. If there is a student struggling with structure, you can click into the lesson plan and it'll give you a lesson plan for educators, some skills activity sheets, graphic organisers, and that is for each and every skill that the student will be going through. From a password perspective, you'll be able to view all of the students' usernames and passwords. So if students do change their password, you will always have access to everything in the live data. So the quick links section, you'll be able to click in and you'll be able to view student usernames and passwords. Again, you can print and download a lot of these. In terms of parent letters, if this was ever going to be used as homework or if parents needed to be informed about what Reading Plus is, you could click on there. There's 33 populated letters for students to use. You can send this home to mum and dad. It has all of the site codes, usernames, passwords, again, just to help you out in relation to that. From an educator's perspective, it is a very, very sort of user-friendly system. Again, if there are any questions, please don't hesitate to get back in touch with me. More than happy to go through, any questions and queries that you all have. Like I say, my details, obviously Jennifer's got my details as well. So if you never sort of caught them at the beginning of the video, please do get them off Jennifer. Really looking forward to working with you all. If there are sort of any concerns with any particular students, please don't hesitate to get back in touch. We can, have a little chat about them. We can always flip sort of the vocabulary and reading lessons as well. So just a couple of examples. I've worked with some schools who, have a large proportion of students with English as a second language. We've been able to flip the vocabulary lessons where they've probably done more vocabulary lessons than they have done with reading lessons. It just allows it to open up a little bit more and get them, to have the best experience with Reading Plus. If there's anything that it can do for you, please do get in touch. Other than that, I'll speak to you all very soon. Thanks. Goodbye.